1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3, and well, that one's recorded. This is Trevor Brown Creative, episode 1, take 4. G'day, I'm Trevor Brown. Welcome to my channel. Start again. G'day, I'm Trevor Brown. Welcome to my new channel, Out and Out with Trev. No, it's not Out and Out with Trev. Go again. G'day, I'm Trevor Brown. Welcome to my new channel, Trevor Brown Creative. This is Trevor Brown Creative, second day, take 2. One, two. G'day, I'm Trevor Brown. Welcome to my new channel. When you think of someone that's being creative, what do you think of? Someone that can draw a picture, maybe they can produce a painting, or maybe they stand in front of an audience and just tell a few jokes for a while. Well, that's one component, but there's another side to being creative, and that's about the problem solving and coming up with, seeing a problem and coming up with a solution to fix it. And that's how humans have evolved. And we evolved from very tough situations, came up with answers, and that's how we've moved forward. My current situation is pretty tight. Check this out.
So as you can see, this is my kitchen. Tonight I'm just cooking up some spaghetti, and just going to give this a bit of a stir. And this is upstairs. That's my bedroom. I know it's a bit messy, but anyway.
So you can imagine that on a daily basis, I have to come up with some pretty wild solutions living in my rooftop tent. I've had a zip break in the middle of the night, I had to fix that. I've had water running in weird places, not inside the tent, but just around. So it's tricky. And in case you're wondering, I'm not the only person doing it tough at the moment. In case you live in a bubble, there's a huge amount of people that are living in cars, couches, bouncing around in different campsites, doing it very, very tough. In Australia right now, we have over 120,000 people on any given night homeless on the streets in various, manners. Whether it's car-based, they're in a swag, under a bridge. I spent a month under a bridge recently. I got my car seized by the cops for 30 days. There you go. There's a whole story there. And I luckily had a mate who helped me out, and it was an experience. And I can only imagine what that's like month after month after month, year after year. It'd be tough. So I think it's mindful to remember, whatever your situation is, right now there are people doing it a lot tougher. And I know there's people doing it tougher than I'm doing. I've got a rooftop tent in my trailer and next to me broken car, and I've got some projects coming on it. So there's that. What I'm really concerned about is the rise of AI and what that's going to do to us as a species. And I think there's a lot of people that aren't really considering, they're just running headlong into it. And I don't think they're actually considering what it's going to do to us. Humans have evolved through a simple process. See a problem, work out how to fix it. If they need tools and whatever, they made tools and they fix it. Even myself, in my own life, I've done heaps of projects. It starts with the spark of an idea. I wanted a workbench at one point. So I did a design, about that'll do. Got some steel together, measured it, cut it, sometimes twice, welded it, set it up, modified it, used it. Then I realised that my spray cans were falling over. So, again, spark of an idea, do a design, get some supplies together, measure it, cut it, weld it, modify it, use it. And that's how humans have developed for a millennia, right? this is how we've developed. And all the advances we've had in the last, 100 years or whatever, the rise of technology and things like that, is all because people saw a problem and they fixed it. But I don't think AI is the fix we want. That's just me. And I know there's millions of people that are running headlong into it, and the guys at the top are going to make a shitload of money, but I think we need to have a think about what it's going to do to our society. I mean, our society is already broken. Throughout the Western world, homelessness is a big problem. There's a shitload of people that are poor, doing it really tough, and the guys at the top don't care. And I hope that future generations judge them very poorly for what they could have done and didn't, is the simple fact of it. But this channel is going to be about how I come up with creative solutions to problems. We'll have a talk about some of the bigger problems, sure. I hope to do some live shows at some point. I'd love to get some questions, hear what's on your mind. In terms of myself, well, like I said, I've done heaps of projects. I've got heaps of stories from bushwalks that went wrong, or sometimes they went right. I was in the SES for a while. I've done search and rescue, vertical rescue, road rescue, done a few different things.
Yep. Do some of those jumps.
So that was exciting. I'm also a keen photographer, so I take pretty cool shots, and sometimes the bird life and animals and lizards and what have you can be a problem, but get the camera out. I tried to get a photo of a kangaroo with its little one the other morning, got out, raised the camera up, went to take the photo, and the message came up, battery's exhausted. So thanks for that. That was my own fault, should have charged them. I know. I've got spare batteries, but anyway. So this channel is going to be a few different things. I've got some, like I say, I've got some storytelling I've got planned. Down the line, I'm going to be working on my car, and check this out.
So here's a future problem I have to solve. There's not much else wrong with the car, really. I mean, I've got to put some coilovers in. That's basically going to bring the back up a little bit. There's a couple of little things I've got to do. Give it a wash, clean it out, things like that. I've actually got new lights, or better lights, to replace with these ones. So they're in a box, ready to go. But this rear assembly here, you just can't get them anymore. Subaru realised pretty quick this was a bad idea. So I think it was about the next model, they got rid of this. So much simpler design, with most of this being part of the metal and then just the lights. So I'm left with, what do I do here? You just can't buy them. I've chased all over the place. I've had people go to wreckers all over, Victoria, even into South Australia, up into New South Wales, and even contacted a couple in Queensland. You just can't get them. So what's my option? The car's 95% good to go. Do I just throw it away because of a piece of plastic? Well, I don't think so. So what I've come up with is a new plan, and I'm going to basically rebuild this. I've got some perspex, different coloured perspex. I couldn't get this deep red, so I've got the red for the light, and I've got the clear, but I couldn't get a red, so it's going to be a brown. That's as close as I can get to it. I'm not concerned with aesthetics. I'm not trying to resell the things. I'm not worried about resale value, but it should be pretty good. And that's going to be something that I'm going to do in a couple of weeks. And that's the type of problem solving I have to deal with. Like, what do I do? So there you go. That's going to be a fun one. And I hope it's going to work out all right. But we'll see. It's going to be a challenge. There you go.
So that's going to be a challenge. And I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I'll show you how it works here. And I just want us to have I want it to be a place where it can grow, talk about creative stuff. I mean, we've got to come up with creative solutions now. I'm slurring now. I haven't been drinking, officer. There we go. Yeah, I've also got a few jokes up my sleeve, although I have to sanitise most of the jokes that I would present here. Just the way we are. The world's got crazy. It really has. It's gone nuts, and it'll be interesting. I'd love to hear people's views on this under 16 social media ban. And as a 56-year-old, it doesn't trip me up really, but it also, why should I have to verify who I am? It just seems. I just think it's crazy. I mean, it's going to do nothing. Like the pedophile rings and what have you are still going to be running around the internet, and who knows what's in the dark web. But I don't know. Like, I mean, it's a funny one. It's actually an interesting one to think about, because I didn't work on the internet. I didn't get experience with the internet until I was about 25. That's honest. It was 1994, on the end of 93, and I went to a meeting and they said, "Here's this thing called the internet." But so I didn't. So through my childhood, I didn't get grown up. Now my thing was, I got bullied as a kid, pretty bad, and violence, and I beat up, and you got no idea. True violence, like crazy stuff. Ended up in the hospital a few times. But I wonder how that would have all gone had I also had to deal with social media. And I think that's what they're wrangling with, but I don't know whether this is the solution. I just don't know, because it's tricky. It's really tricky. And I mean, I've got a daughter. She's all grown up now, but I wonder how that would have. She was just starting to get into it when she was growing up. So she used to come down to my office and play on the computers. But it's an interesting one. I don't know that they've really thought about it a lot. I don't know. It's interesting. So I try to be creative most days, and I can tell you that, I mean, I've battled my demons. I've had some tough times, and I've got some stories to tell from back then and how I moved forward. Obviously, I made it, so that's cool. But there are some stories, and having a creative mindset has enabled me to just wrangle myself out from under my demons, and it's been an interesting thing. I've poured my heart and soul into writing. I've got some books here that I wrote, and in the trailer for this, I actually talked about how I was turning my back on the whole project. I had a burning and what have you, and that's something that was an interesting exercise, I can tell you, to burn them. But I've still got some, so as you can see. What I realised was that my writing isn't up to standard. It's not up to an acceptable standard. That's a hard thing as a person to be that self-critical, to say, well, it's not good enough. But I've had to talk to a few people, and I wish I'd had some more people early on that might have. I mean, I gave people the first book, and they said, "We'll let you know what we think," and they didn't say anything. And I would have preferred they were honest, and maybe I wouldn't have 3 books sitting here. I would have had the one. And it's a little bit. I think that's something we also need to look at in society, because we've got very soft in terms of the critical. Like, if things aren't good enough, we should tell people. That's how you improve as a human. Someone comes along and says, "Hey, look, that's not real good, but here's how you can fix it." That's creative criticism, and that's what I lacked. I didn't have any of that. So anyway, I've made the decision to shut down my whole book series. Delisted it off Amazon. Also took it off the Kobo system. Interestingly enough, I got an email from Kobo saying that I delisted my books. I got nothing from Amazon. The world's biggest warehouse or corporate or whatever they are, the world's biggest whatever, whatever they are this week. And I got nothing from them, but Kobo, no, I got an email from them saying these have been delisted. What I'm hoping to do is spend the next couple of years just honing my craft, and I'm planning on doing some actual training. So next year I'm going to do a university thing and try and get my writing better. I'm pretty good. I've had articles published in the Big Issue and things like that, and I've done some pretty cool stuff, but my writing isn't quite up to the standard it needs to be for this sort of thing. So what I hope to do is hone my craft, get better, and I'll rewrite book 1, and then I'll throw that up and we'll see where it goes and what it does. And if people like it, then I can work on book 2. And that's probably the process I should have done initially. I might try and get someone to come and edit it, which is another step. It's just hard, and it's hard when you work in a vacuum and you're living in a rooftop tent. And people also don't take you very serious too. people, I've said, oh, here's a book, and they go, oh, yeah. I mean, I had a person who works for Vincent Care. I said, you know, if you read it, let me know what you think. And she goes, well, how good could it be? Well, hang on a second. Like, you know, I've decided it's not good enough now, but they could have at least read it and then said, hey, look, it needs work. Don't just judge it straight away. Oh, how good could it be because you live in a rooftop tent? And this is one thing that the homeless are struggling with, because most of the homeless are just everyday people who are just trying to get through life as best they can. And what they lack is opportunities. They can't fix their problem themselves. It's gone beyond that. You know, there's two people that want houses can't afford them, so they're in rental. The people that want rentals can't afford them, so where do they go? And then you've come down a few more levels to get to the people like me that are in a rooftop tent or in a swag or under a bridge. And you know, what do? And at the same time, what we've got happening is we've got councils drafting draconian rules, move on, they're criminalising the homeless. In Queensland, they went in and bulldozed their camps. But where do they go? What do they do? And again, I think the councils have got to be creative with it. They've got to be smart, because we need one council to be smart and brave and actually say, here's a spot, you know, hopefully near public transport. If it had toilets and a shower, that'd be handy. Here's a spot, that's where you can go. They also fear a group of homeless getting together for whatever reason. I mean, we have groups of other people and it doesn't work, but we put up with that. But yeah, it's going to be, and then there's getting more and more people on the street. Eventually, we're all going to be grouped somewhere because we're going to run out of spots. And Australia's a big country, but, you know, it's crazy. And we just need to fix some of this stuff. So hopefully down the line, we'll talk about a bit of that. I've got some ideas on some of the things we could tweak, just at my level, what we could tweak to make life, you know, a bit more less prickly. And like I say, I got some stories. I'll tell some jokes. There's a whole heap of stuff I got planned. But I think for this one, that's almost a wrap. I'll leave you with one thing. This is one of my life things as well. We only have one life, so why not play with it? This is me playing with it, and I'm just having a go. Next week's episode, I'll talk about some of the ideas of why I'm doing this. Like, why? Is it just to have a channel up and things like that? It's a little bit more important than that. But I thought I'd leave you with this. As much as this hurts for me to watch, a couple of years ago, I was in a house. I got given a PS4, and I bought a game called Need for Speed Heat. And I got given a racing chair with a whole butt kicker and everything. So when you went over bumps, it bumped on your ass. And this is me driving this Need for Speed. This is one of the most thrilling cop chases I'll ever be involved in, because I'm not going to do that for real. But check this out. It goes for about 3 minutes. Hope you enjoy it. And yeah, the end made me laugh. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. And welcome to my channel. If you like what I'm doing, you know, hit like. If you're really impressed, hit subscribe. I'm hoping to put these episodes up weekly. It's a bit of a challenge. Later on, I'll run through my whole kit and I'll show you how it all works, and you'll be amazed. It all runs off one solar panel. But there we go. Anyway, check this out and take it easy out there, guys. Cheers.
I got a nice ride in my section. Gonna take him off the road. Good job. We've got one of our guys in a pursuit. I told you, subject. Calling off the pursuit target. Next time they won't be so lucky. Okay. Well, the suspect is identical to gonna pummel this loser.
Subaru, pull over.
My car's way too smashed up to keep chasing the subject. I want that driver found. Don't put that car over there to you, huh? Excuses.
You wrecked this one good.